We've been wanting to do a live stream for a little bit of time, just haven't actually sat down to do it, I guess. But we wanted to update you all a little bit into what's been happening in our lives and why there's some weird trees behind us. We are not in the tropics. We were in Canada at my parents' place right now, and we just wanted to talk a little bit about all the, pretty much like we are 7 or 8 months behind on our videos coming out. So Fade would give you a little recap, tell you what's going on in the upcoming videos, where our boat is, what's going on in our lives, and potential future plans, which is always tricky to plan.
Yeah. Things always change, but we know for certain that Little Coral is coming out very shortly. Could be any day now, really.
Yeah, really, really soon. I'm at week 37, so who knows when. But hi to everyone. Hi Brad, Scott and Diane. Super happy you made it for this one.
Hey Alan, how's it going?
And Kirsten.
So we just wanted to give you some insights on, I guess, where everything is going in the near future for our videos, since we're so far behind. One thing that we've been kind of really stoked to share was the Bahamas again, but from a different perspective. We have all those drone shots that we're super stoked to be able to share with you guys. As well as coming up very shortly, we do a lithium battery project that is pretty, I don't know, it was relatively thorough. We're just going through the footage now, and man, sometimes I ramble. But anyway, we're going to cut it down, and it hopefully will be nice and concise, and hopefully useful for anybody who is interested in lithium batteries from a DIY standpoint, making them out of raw cells with a BMS and all the stuff that goes into that.
Yeah, so for the next, 5 or so regular Thursdays episodes, it's pretty much going to be all about our time at Green Cove Springs Marina and all the different projects we had to do on our boat. Because, as you might have seen from last video, we kind of got back to our sailboat and a lot of things were broken or needed upgrading. So there's going to be quite a few videos about all of this. And the lithium videos like Corey's mentioning, those are going to be they're going to be bonus videos coming probably on Sundays, just because I know that's not necessarily for everyone. It's much more technical and in detail as to how Corey built that lithium bank. But then everything else is going to be all those different kinds of projects, sending, and all the fun stuff that's involved when you have a boat.
But really, not soon after that, we'll be back in the Bahamas because, we were in the yard for a while, but I think we condensed it pretty nicely into, just a few videos. And anyway, on our way down to Bahamas, we ended up running into some manta rays just for the first time, at least the first time I've seen them.
It was surreal.
Just these enormous creatures swimming underneath the boat, and we just kind of did a couple tacks around to kind of take a better look at them, and they didn't seem bothered by us at all. But these creatures were just enormous. I'd love to swim with them at some point.
Absolutely. And this year's season was a little shorter than usual, just because of being pregnant and having to come back to Canada a little earlier than we thought. But we still managed to do quite a bit of exploration, especially that we were free to move almost anywhere in the Bahamas. And this year we wanted to try to bring you all to different areas because, well, we really enjoy checking out new places. So we did mainly the northern Bahamas. So we did all the Abacos, went back to Eleuthera for a little bit, but to a different island. And then we skipped over to the Berries Island because we tried to go there twice the first winter we were there, but, well, wind and no motor and all of that made it so that we skipped the berries altogether that first season. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this year we explored a bunch, and we're going to share all of those videos with you. and then I'll be back to the US for a very short period of time, and back in there at Green Cove Springs Marina.
Yeah, and Green Cove was really good to us, the last time, and so we're there again. And despite some rumors and bad press, I guess, so to speak, it's really a good place. I'd recommend it to anybody, as far as a nice place to work on your boat, because that's not easy to come by in Florida specifically. So anyway, it was a good place, and it's actually kind of nice as a hurricane hole. You're still in Florida, but the hurricanes so far, have seemed like they in general kind of go around and don't have a direct impact there. So that's really nice as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Green Cove Springs Marina is a good location for us because I also have family in Jacksonville, so that's only 40 minutes away. So if anything happened, I can have my sisters go and check on our boat and give us updates, or from lots of the new friends that we've made at the actual marina. Super friendly people over there. It's that nice little community of different cruisers or liveaboards. So it's been a really good time. And it's quite affordable compared to a lot of Florida.
Yeah.
That's a huge selling factor for us because, well, we always try to make the most out of our money and just explore the world more so than just spend money at marinas.
Yeah, our budget is low, so we gotta make do with what we can. If I had a boat that I could beach, I think I would probably beach it to do the bottom. But anyway, it's nice to have a reasonably affordable marina at somewhere south, because it's sometimes a pain to bring your boat all the way north to leave it. But yeah, let's thanks for checking us out, guys. I really appreciate it. Sorry, I'm a little brain fart there, but
yeah, but welcome to everyone to our live chat from Canada.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
So yeah, we are back in Canada because, well, as many of you probably saw from the thumbnail picture, I am quite pregnant and big. So we did a lot of debate as to where we should have the baby and all that, and Bahamas was just naturally an option because, well, she's due September 20th, so that's right within the hurricane season, and the worst of it, I really didn't feel comfortable staying over there. And then in the US, it's a little bit expensive, especially if there's complications. So we're like, okay, that is not an option. And then in Canada, the only tricky thing is that, well, we technically didn't have any, or actually still as of now don't have any healthcare coverage. So we had to make it back to Canada quite early in June just to make sure that by September 1st we would be covered. So that's why we decided to come back here, because then giving birth, and if there's any complication or all of that, at least we would have a good place to be, / our families cannot wait to meet our little girl.
Yeah.
So we thought that would be the best place for us to be at. Otherwise it would have involved going more south in Mexico or Guatemala or who knows where, which would have been a lot more logistics.
And I mean, we got to come home and visit family. Everybody's getting older. My dad passed away this past summer while we were in Bahamas, so that was another reason to come home and be with family and spend some quality time there. So everybody's getting older. It's just nice to come back once a year and regardless of the cost, and just kind of make it happen. So that's kind of been our plan, and I think it'll continue to be our plan. But hopefully this year we get more south, and we actually get to not only do Bahamas but continue south, and that's the plan. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the stream. But yeah, I guess for the ones that have been asking a little bit about the name, it's gonna be Coral, because I guess there's a couple of different meanings, kind of our two names combined together, and
well, we kind of love corals. They're the lung of the ocean, of the earth. So figured that would become her little name.
Yeah, we both really like it. I mean, we were brainstorming for a little while. It's going to be Coral, and we both like the name Olivia, so that will be her middle name, and then my last name.
He wins for the last name.
So sorry. I guess I'm not into the live stream anymore. We haven't done one in it's been a few months, so we got to get back in the groove here a little bit. But it's really nice to see all of you. Thanks, Brad. We think it's a brilliant name as well.
Hopefully she likes it too.
Yeah, we'll see if she likes it. At least she has a second name to kind of go off of if she doesn't.
And hi, Norman from Texas. And your mom's there.
Oh, hey, Mom. Good to see you.
And gosh, thank you so much, Kristen. Is that Kristen from Texas as well?
Is that the Kristen we know and met this year? I'm not 100% sure. Let us know. But Alan loves music. It really helps having good music. Sorry, not good. It helps having good music too, but good internet connection. It seems like sometimes we just get stuck with not so good internet connection for these live streams, and they just don't always go as smoothly as planned, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Luckily right now in Canada at my parents' place, it's pretty good connection, even though we're in the middle of the woods. So that's good. Mm-hmm. So, gosh, I guess we're getting a couple of questions about where we're going to be sailing or when. Good question.
Yeah.
So, the big decision factor as to when we're going to be leaving is kind of when our little girl decides to come out first time. Because as I've mentioned, I'm at week 37. For the ones who aren't too familiar with how many weeks there is in a pregnancy, it's about 40. But really from this time on, it could be any day now. And then, so after she's out, we're going to have quite a bit of paperwork to do to be allowed to leave the country. So that's kind of the big deciding factor as to when we're going to be taking off from Canada. Hopefully before the winter. We'd love to be out of here by the end of November, early December. But I have to apply for a birth certificate before we can even start applying for a passport. And everything's kind of slow right now in Canada for paperwork.
Yeah, it's not the quickest of things to get right now. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll get lucky, and ideally I think November, and pushing it into December and even January would make it kind of cruddy, but we could still do it. I
mean, last year we didn't get back to the boat up until January 6th or 7th, and we still managed to do a good 3 months in the Bahamas. It's just, if we want to actually make it further south than there, we'd ideally want to leave earlier. Mm-hmm. And hopefully not have too much work in the boat this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you never know. We might have a ton of stuff to do. It's always, you never know. But it doesn't seem like we're going to have too much stuff to do, knock on wood.
Yeah.
And we really want to go sail with Sailing Vinyasa, another YouTube channel. If you haven't checked them out, make sure to check them out when you get a chance. They're some friends of ours that we met last season, or the season before last season, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they also have a little one, so it'll be kind of fun to take turns babysitting and
spearfishing.
Yeah, spearfishing is having somebody or a group of people to share the load of babysitting and stuff will be nice, I think.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, hopefully not too late, and all the paperwork goes pretty smooth, mm-hmm. and there's no complication or problems with her.
When do you get? Oh, I already
so,
did.
For going south, we haven't really talked too much as to which countries specifically we want to go visit, because plans never work out. Mm-hmm. Like, I find in our lives, it's like every time, I guess you have a bit of a direction and ideas of some places that you want to go to. But then I've noticed that in life, if you're too set in certain things, you tend to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So we try to make very
broad plans. And then, like, we certainly we have dreams of doing certain things, but depending on timing and, you know, how things pan out, because there's only so much time in the sailing season, and we want to spend some time in Bahamas with Vinyasa ideally next year, and then still have enough time, I'd say by May at the latest, leaving Bahamas to be able to have enough time to not get too caught up in bad weather before we make it to more of a hurricane-happy zone, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so somewhere in Central America is more what we've been talking about. Who knows, Guatemala or Panama. It really depends how early we actually make it back to the U.S. And I think that's going to be our big deciding factor as to where we actually make it for hurricane season of next year. Mm-hmm. And Gulf of Mexico is not somewhere I want to be.
Yeah, I mean, wow, I really feel for anybody out there right now. There's probably, you know, a lot of devastation.
So yeah, we'll kind of wait and see a little bit as to when we get back. And then, I mean, like, we really want to go back to the Bahamas because it's kind of easy cruising grounds, and we never really explored the southern portion of it because we kind of got stuck in the Exumas the first season we were there. But then after that, maybe go check out Cuba, do like Western Caribbean, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe Dominican Republic. Kind of depends if we go more Panama or more Guatemala. This little wasp wants our drinks.
Yeah, if I look like I'm, you know, doing yoga or something, I'm just trying to get the wasp away from us. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. We'll see what happens, though. Really, we don't know for sure. Norman, have we made any changes to the boat? Not yet. We have plans for changes, but
for the little one.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But like, I mean, we haven't really specifically done anything. We have ideas on things that we're gonna make safer and baby-proof, I guess, so to speak. But early on, I don't think it's gonna be as much of an issue. But
probably gonna happen quickly.
Yeah, not too soon. It will become an issue. We're gonna set up some netting around the boat and. You know,
maybe lock the cupboards that we know we don't want her to get into, where there's like epoxy or those kind of things.
Yeah.
And probably put a bit of something around the battery and electrical panel, because everything's really down low for those things.
Just clean up stuff a little bit that I guess we've been procrastinating up until now, because my mindset is just make it functional. It doesn't need to be perfect and pretty. But we're gonna pretty things up a little and make it a little safer as well in the process.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just a couple little projects, and the rest is gonna be hopefully not too much this year, really.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have to figure out how to set her up when we're sailing. If we're using the car seat, securing it somewhere just so that she doesn't go rolling over.
I think that's the plan, is just to secure the car seat as like a main, you know, tie-in early on, and then when she's old enough to set her up in a small harness, you know, we'll have that set up where she's in a harness and secured to the boat. If she can walk around, she's on a harness. Mm-hmm. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how everything works out.
And she's gonna have to learn to swim real early.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a given. So it is a different Kristen. There's a lot of Kristen and Kirsten in our lives.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, welcome.
Gift registry. No, actually, we never set anything up.
We've been struggling with gifts. A lot of people have been wanting to give, in our families have been wanting to give us gifts, but we're going to have to fly back into the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So
really, a registry probably would have been a good idea in some aspects, but we're also trying to be relatively minimalistic because, well, as she said, we got to fly with everything, but also I think there's a lot of stuff out there that are wants and not needs, and we're gonna try to focus on needs because we live on a small boat. So we got to figure out what we need first, and then maybe we can figure out that. But thanks for asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we would have to set it up so that everything gets delivered in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Like
so we don't have to fly with it.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best way to do it, really.
Yeah, because otherwise our bags are so... She has more clothing than us combined right now.
Oh, by multiples. Thank goodness for everybody who is so generous and given us so many different hand-me-downs and stuff that people have bought just for Coral. We've not bought a single piece of clothing, and I think she's clothed for multiple years almost.
That's all small stuff.
Yeah. She has an outfit for every day of the week. I wear the same shorts all the time.
It's going to be a fun new adventure that we're really excited and looking forward to, and just to share all of this with all of you as well, to see the world through a different perspective. Bit of adaptation, but there's still going to be a lot of adventuring, and we would never switch our life just because we have a kid. We want to have her be part of the whole adventure.
Yeah, I think it'll be special to be able to share our experiences with new eyes. And of course, things are going to change. There'll be modifications to what we do, but I don't plan to, stop what we're doing by any means. There's no point in stopping. If anything, that would make, build resentment, I think, in either of us to some extent without even necessarily realizing it. And I don't think it's a good thing to show to, my child that I had to stop what I'm doing just because I have a child, or, stop like something that we're passionate about. I'd much rather just show that passion to them and try to experience it with them. To each his own.
Yeah, I mean, my best souvenirs of my childhood was just backpacking with my parents and traveling with them. That's the things that you really remember. Not all the pieces of clothes that you have had in your life. So it'll be fun to just explore the world with her, explore the Bahamas this season, and just see that from that different perspective. And then keep on going around the world. But really, we move slowly. We love exploring areas. So when I say explore the world, it's pretty much, who knows, it might take us like 10, 15, 20 years. But we want to just take our time and experience the countries, the cultures, the food, and really soak in those different locations without just rushing through them.
I mean, perfect example is we're still going back to the Bahamas.
I know.
Unfortunately, it's the same thing for what you guys are seeing or what's on our channel, 3 seasons in the Bahamas. But I think we can make it interesting in a way that's, it'll just force us to film differently and capture different aspects of the Bahamas. And for us, it's still all new because this year we went to all different islands. We basically, went to Abacos, Eleuthera, and the Berries as our main places. Egg Island. Well, we did Eleuthera last year, but we didn't spend very much time at Egg Island, and that was almost our entire trip to Eleuthera. It was just like diving and stuff at Egg Island. We spent most of our trip in the Abacos because there was just a lot of fun stuff to do. We met some fun sailors to spend some time with. And we just had a great time. So I feel like even though it's just Bahamas, there's just so many places to go and see and things to do that you'd be surprised at how easy it is to get stuck there. And we've met people that have been stuck there for
20 years. Yeah. I mean, there's 600 or 700 islands, not counting all the cays. So that's a lot of exploration.
Yeah.
Both on land and undersea. So definitely going to be going back there for a little bit. If you have any suggestions of specific places in the Bahamas that you've been to and really enjoyed, just let us know. We're always open to
Oh yeah,
new places to go see.
Yeah, I love hearing new ideas and finding out about other coral reefs from other people or islands, or even just if there's other places in the Caribbean, because Bahamas isn't the end goal. It's just that's where we've ended up for other whatever reasons, and we just haven't continued for a couple different reasons along the way. And hopefully it'll be different this year, and if not, whatever, we'll go with the flow. Things will happen.
Mm-hmm. No, that's it.
So I think you wanted to talk a little bit about boat insurance, because it's been a common question that we've been asked in private messages and stuff like that, and it seems like it's something that everybody has to deal with in one way or another, boat insurance, because most people have to pay at least liability to get their boat in a marina. If you want to have your boat in a marina at all, even if you want to do what we do and almost spend zero time in a marina, you still need liability to an extent, because eventually you're going to want to pull into a marina just to get some work done or something.
As well as environmental coverage. If there's an oil leak or those kind of things, that's something that's kind of useful to have. But finding insurance is something that is so tricky. Like our first insurance, we had the whole boat, like hull coverage and liability. And being new sailors without any experience, that was super hard to get, because they want you to have experience. Now we've got experience, so it's a little easier, but still, it's as soon as you want to get out of the US and Canada, insurance's price go a little higher up, and then there's also the problem of being in the hurricane areas. So what we found worked for us, actually that was suggested from some friends that we met, is we are Canadians, so that's in Canada. But we have an insurance provider, Dolphin Insurance, that they are based in BC. But it's underwriters of Lloyd's of London. So that's who we're insured through. And that's liability only and environmental. And we didn't really need a survey for that one. And for about 1,000 Canadian for the year, we get coverage anywhere in the world. So there's no restriction, which a lot of companies have noticed, like Haiti or Cuba. There was a couple countries that they just don't even want to cover you whatsoever. And then you also have to be out of certain areas during hurricane season. But with them, it's covered anywhere, anytime. So that's kind of good. Mind you, we haven't had to do any claim. So who knows how good they actually are.
Yeah, I mean, you never know until you actually need them on whether or not insurance company is good, but at least we have, I guess, the feeling of coverage, and we can get into marinas is the biggest ticket in my mind for us, because, our boat value, it's not worth it to spend thousands of dollars on insurance, because after a couple of years, you've already paid the value of the boat in insurance. Yeah, we made some modifications and upgrades, but it's still fairly low cost put into it.
Yeah, because most insurance that we were looking at, it was like $4,000 to $5,000, just because we needed like cruising extensions to allow us out of our country, out of Canada, and then the prices just go way up. And then we probably wouldn't even be able to leave our boat in Jacksonville with those different insurance coverage.
Yeah.
So this one has been Lloyd's of London through Dolphin, has been working for us so far. I looked a little bit elsewhere this year just to try to see if I could get something a little cheaper, but it's hard. If anyone has other ones that they really like, let us know. But for us, that's the one that's been the most affordable.
Because we tried Boat US, we tried Geico, we tried...
Well, some of them don't even offer liability only, so then the prices go quite a bit higher up. Yeah. And you're only allowed out of Canada and the US for like 4 to 6 months out of the year, which ideally, I mean, the 2 last seasons, we keep coming back to the US, but ideally we want to keep moving south.
Yeah, it would have worked fine. It would have worked fine for the last few years.
Yeah, in hindsight. Yeah. But for this year, hopefully we're going to keep moving south. So So we need something that will cover us pretty much anywhere. So sticking to that one, with that one for now.
Norman, I'm sure Alex's sisters would absolutely love a huge semi-trailer dropped on their front property. Actually, last time we were there, they just kept getting package after package after package because we kept buying stuff for the boat, and it was like a Christmas, Christmas morning pile of Amazon gifts when we arrived. But anyway, they're used to it, it seems. So we're so grateful to have them to be able to both get stuff there, visit, and it's just very convenient.
Absolutely. And welcome to the minimalist life. That's going to be super exciting being in the 27-footer.
Yeah. Let us know how it goes. That I've seen quite a few people, especially when you're just one person in a sub 30-foot boat.
Actually, we've even met that guy that was in the 28-foot with a family of 6.
Yeah, actually, he has a YouTube channel. For
remember.
For the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. But basically, he took out the engine, and he only has a sculling oar, and he has Anyway, they're doing it. They're hoping to come to the Bahamas. We met him in the Bahamas this year. He was traveling with another boat to get a feel for it. But anyway, there's people doing it in small boats. So yeah, good on you. Let us know how it goes.
No, that's it. I mean, you spend quite a bit more time outside of your boat anyways, so the size isn't that big of a deal. Unless you are bringing a lot of stuff with you, which we tend to pack our boat quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But it works. I mean, it'll be fun.
Thanks so much, Ellen. Cheers.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That's super awesome. By the way, I am drinking fresh apple juice from the apple trees here, and it's been abundance. Like, we've had so many apples and raspberries and everything at my mom's place. So exciting.
And this actually isn't a Guinness, but it is a stout. I really enjoy my stouts, so I've been trying different ones. This one is it's a fairly strong stout, actually. I think it's like 9% or something, but it still tastes really nice.
Saint-Ambroise. We are in Quebec, so there's a lot of good beers.
No, that's Robe Noir.
Oh, my bad. Still Quebec beer. Yeah. Still Unibrew. And yeah, we are kind of lucky that we can explore Cuba. I do feel very fortunate. We have heard of some Americans, though, making it into Cuba as well, even though there's some restrictions. I'm not sure how...
There's some sort of process you can go through, and there's a few ways I think you can go about it. But there are ways to do it. It's definitely a lot easier for us. I'm grateful, and I think that's on the list as well. We've thought about it. Actually, last year we were thinking about it more seriously, but with the whole situation.
I was pregnant.
Well, no, sorry.
First time coming home.
When we lost the motor, we were thinking of going there, but it just ended up getting really difficult to travel in that area, and we didn't really feel like it was worth going there during this whole situation we have going on. And
without an engine.
Well, yeah, that also that wouldn't have been the deciding factor, though. Like, we got really comfortable without an engine last year, and this season before, and even last year, even though we had an engine, we barely ran it. Like, we sailed out of tight anchorages just for the fun of it, and I'm not saying that just because
Corey
egotistically.
Loves challenges.
Well, yeah, it's just a challenge. It's a lot funner than just starting the engine. Sometimes you get in hairy situations that you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have did that. But it's fun. I don't know. It's enjoyable. Maybe when I get older, I'll just want to start the engine and just push the throttle. But right now, it's fun to tack and get out of cruddy situations that you might have to get out of if your engine ever dies on you. So anyway, yeah.
And so we've got Scott and Diane asking about Wi-Fi in the Bahamas. So what we do in the Bahamas, we pretty much buy a SIM card through BTC. So that gives us, for $40 US, we get 15 gigs of data, which is valid for a full month. and that's been working really well for us. Coverage is pretty decent, actually. Like, you get pretty much good cell phone coverage almost anywhere in the Bahamas, other than when you're a little too far away in between some like main chains of islands. But it's been working well for us. And then there's also a few times that like when we had a lot of videos to upload, for example, and we didn't want to go through too much data, we would just go out to some restaurant, buy a burger and a drink, and have all our videos uploading, because Wi-Fi was generally really fast, actually.
Well, when you find a good place,
Yes.
sometimes it's terrible. You know, there's plenty of places it's terrible. But when you find a good place, you can just sit down and, you know, I've
Smoking Buddha in Eleuthera, Spanish Wells.
I've seen other cruisers just download like entire, you know, Netflix series or different things like that. And I mean, for us, we just upload like 5 or 6 episodes if we can, you know, during the process of eating a burger. So it saves us a lot of data. But in general, really, the 15 gigs of data is tons of data if you're just watching YouTube and like doing like basic stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Like, we go through it quite a bit faster just because of uploading videos.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, gosh, would be good for the month. We could probably use less.
Yeah.
But
Alan loves music. Canadians need to go back to Canada to free up marina slips. I agree.
we don't want to stay there.
Those invasive Canadians, they're good for nothing. But yeah,
no, we don't want to get stuck in Canada, especially with winter approaching.
there's a reason. You know, if we come back to Canada with our boat, now we don't have a way to get back to Canada. You guys in America need to free up your border. No, I don't know. We all have our own issues with this whole thing going on, and right now this is the only way we've figured out a way to navigate the bureaucracy and the way of living right now. So for us to be able to travel, we need to leave our boat in the U.S. as of right now during hurricane season.
Fly.
Yeah. Because we can't drive.
Yes.
Because if we drive, we have to, anyway.
Logistical troubles of traveling nowadays. But it's all worth it, though. Once we get back to the boat, it's just heaven. It is really good. And Missigren,
Oh, did I miss?
I hope you. So hopefully, did you manage to figure out your prescriptions? Hopefully, everything worked out. Which is
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I mean, we'll talk about it. That's a good topic. Yeah. Getting prescriptions, I don't know what it's like for you if you have a family doctor that, you know, trusts you or whatever, but if you just go into, you know, a pharmacy or, you know, to see a doctor even, and you ask for, here in Canada anyway, and you ask for medication, even if it's like antibiotics, I'm not talking about painkillers or something like that could, you know, would be abused potentially. You know, just simple antibiotics for, you know, some sort of situation where you might run into on a boat where you might not have access to things. Trying to stock up on some of those medications can be very difficult and almost impossible in some cases for us. You know, we've had a lot of trouble with it in some cases. But I think if you find a doctor that trusts you, maybe you can make something happen. But aside from like pretending you have symptoms, you're gonna have a lot of trouble getting medication unless, I don't know. That's what we found.
That's what, because we just wanted to have like some, let's say like antibiotics or some things just as the preventive measure that we don't really need now. But you never know if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and need something, and that's been challenging, next to impossible.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe. We also come from a lifestyle of we don't go to the doctor for medication unless we're like in excruciating pain or there's a really big issue. So for us to even get the medication, like we're not constantly going to the doctor and getting a stockpile of medication because we have this issue and that issue, and maybe that's what we need to do just to collect a little. But anyway, yeah, medications abroad. Our solution, I think, is generally just to hopefully get it locally, you know, in some cases. But yeah.
And then, I mean, the doctors are a little bit more familiar with what kind of bugs or what kind of diseases are going on in their own specific countries as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Tim answered a little bit the Cuba travel question here. Not as familiar with the U.S. regulations and all.
Just in case it doesn't post, why don't you just say it? Because I don't know if the comments will all post.
Americans can go to Cuba via boat and via plane from Canada or Mexico. It's the USA that doesn't want you to visit. Cuba doesn't stamp your passport.
Okay.
I was not familiar with this. Good to know. Yeah. And yeah, Alan, I really hope you get your insurance.
That's brutal. What? You've tried 5 companies, I think? Yeah, you mentioned you've tried 5 companies and you weren't able to find insurance. And you've been on a waiting list since 2019. That's crazy. Is it because your boat is older, or like what is the excuse? Like I don't know. Are insurance companies getting that lame where they're just not insuring people at all? That's weird. That sucks.
Very challenging.
Okay, getting meds in the U.S. are similar. Good to see you, Life on Lady. How are you guys doing in Bahamas? By the way, they're in Bahamas during cruising season. Yeah, no, they're in Bahamas right now during hurricane season. So far, nothing has hit you guys, I guess. But how's everything going over there? But yeah, apparently the U.S. isn't any easier to get meds. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Life and Lady, they're back in the US actually.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I guess some boats also, if they're older, longer. I have noticed when I was trying to apply for some insurance that it was a length limit as well.
Oh,
or an age.
Yeah.
It's tricky. It's really tricky to find good insurance. Ooh. I feel the struggle. I feel the struggle.
Oh,
we
man,
had trouble.
I guess once you're with a company, it gets more beneficial to stick with them, because then you don't have to do as many, checks and marina surveys and all the other, crap that's involved. But yeah, it's a hassle. I wish it was a little. It should be like driving a car to me, but anyway, whatever. It is what it is, right? We navigate the scenario we are in, and that's all we can do, I guess.
And some people also cruise without insurance, but like we said, it's more the liability part that's required when you want to go to marinas.
I mean, yeah, if you're talking about full coverage insurance, it's ridiculous in general. If you want to travel, abroad more seriously, it really, unless you have a hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of a boat, in my opinion, I don't know if it's worth it anymore. But that's, I don't know. I haven't done research for every scenario, but that's just how I feel, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting closer, I think, maybe another 10 minutes or so. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask us. I always love, having a conversation with everybody in chat.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in our lives. Just back in Canada, waiting for the little one to come out and just packing in the extra pounds. And hopefully we'll get back to the boat very soon.
Do you want to show your belly?
Oh, I.
Look at our big belly. It's so weird.
I don't even know if I'm on screen though. We're kind of delayed.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Just show it, and there it is.
No, it's probably too close.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. You can see it. Perfect.
The only time you're ever gonna see me with a belly.
So, anyway, if you guys want to see more live streams, let us know. We've been kind of slacking on them, I guess. We haven't really prioritized live streams as far as a video creation thing, because we're trying to catch up on our content so that we're eventually maybe post more than one video a week. It's really difficult, I guess, with different things that are going on. I keep getting consumed with other things like carving and instead of video editing, and so I end up just editing a certain portion of the video, or only having so much time for editing. Alex is spending a lot of time editing, getting I think we're like 4 episodes ahead, but still we want to get more ahead, so we're maybe a month behind, ideally.
A month or 2 max behind from real time, because ideally by the time we get back to the boat, that's it, we're way closer to regular time. So a little behind, so that it gives us a little bit of leeway as to when we post episodes.
Yeah, I don't want to be so real time that it feels stressful to create content, but I want to be more real time because it's a bit ridiculous how far behind we are right now, and I feel like we've been saying this for a while, but it really takes a lot of work, obviously double the amount of work if we want to produce 2 episodes for a week, and we already put quite a few hours into an episode, so we're going to do our best, and I know it's going to get harder as Coral comes, so we'll see how it goes, but we're definitely going to get closer to real time, and hopefully everything will be good. I'm excited to edit the episodes with the drone footage and our new experiences, because it was really beautiful, and it was fun to experience it.
A whole different perspective. Thank you all very much for the comments.
Yeah.
Makes me feel not quite as big. I've got trouble bending though. It changes your life. Kind of happy actually right now that we're not quite on the boat and that I'm on land.
Okay, Kevin from How to Sail Oceans uses.
We've seen him actually.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing him.
He's pretty good.
That seems like a whole nother level. I understand what people go through without an engine to some extent, because you get put in cruddy scenarios sometimes that, most people would just pick up anchor and motor out of. And when you have just a sculling gear, or you no longer have that opportunity. So I have respect for those people, and it's definitely a little bit more uncomfortable at times, I guess, to be a cruiser in that fashion.
Thank you. Hopefully everything goes real smooth. Thank you all so much for coming and asking questions and watching our live stream, and we'll keep posting the Thursdays episodes and a couple little bonus ones coming in between with the lithium DIY that's going to be coming up.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
It sounds like Life and Lady was saying that sailboats seem to be getting trouble to get insurance. Boating courses or captain's licenses tend to help. But yeah, I think, each person is going to be different, I guess, depending on the scenario.
Yeah.
And well, it looks like we just got some visitors arriving. So thank you guys all so much. I really appreciate it. And we're going to end the stream here. So cheers, guys.
Cheers to you all.
Have a wonderful day.
Yes.
We love you.